What is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of VGRX, your daily dose, or daily. I did it again!
It's definitely not daily, Scotty.
Weekly dose
there you go.
of video game
You'll get it
knowledge,
one of these weeks,
know-how,
one of these months.
I am Scott. We have Zach here, who's wearing a hood.
What's up?
We have Brittin, our furry squad mother. Hit him with the dab.
Hey, what's up?
I like it. We have Brooks, our special guest, who's
Very
unfortunately here. And we have Dan over here, who is eating a burrito from Taco Bell. That was wrong.
I like watching.
I think,
eat a
for the
burrito.
record, we're not being sponsored by Taco Bell.
I think this hood.
But how's
is
the
gonna be
burrito?
my new
But
thing for the
Taco
podcast.
Bell, if you're listening, which you're not, they would love to be sponsored by you.
They have a really active Twitter, so technically, if you tweet
Hang on.
at them.
I'm curious. Does it get hot in here during the summer?
Only when I'm in here.
Yes.
Oh God, guys.
I also have to turn on the fan normally.
Oh, it's gonna. And then we can't record here in the summer.
Yes,
Why?
we can.
Let's
Because
worry about
you
that
guys
in the
can be-
summer.
And it smells like foo-foo?
Yeah, we're gonna be hot, sweaty.
We'll just record without anything on.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just be naked.
Five guys in the room naked recording about video games. What could possibly go wrong?
Is that the new name of the show?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, let's talk about
Five
video
guys
games.
play my-
Novel concept.
So,
Hey, I'm gonna take over.
Go
for
for
a
it.
second.
He's
Yeah,
like the
of course.
official
Alright.
host here.
I can be the host too.
yeah, he can be the host. I don't care.
This is kind of a group hosting.
This is a
project.
this is a group. What's the word I'm looking for? A group activity.
Once the fumbled
Yeah, with
intro is
five
out of the way,
guys.
anything
Yeah.
goes.
Once we recover.
All right,
Yep,
guys.
We'll never recover.
All right,
from
Dan,
our
go ahead.
full intro.
Recover.
So, today we're going to talk about our top games this year. Originally, it was going to be a top 5, but in some cases, like myself, I don't think I've played more than about 6 or 7 games that actually came out this year. And I know that Brooksy has played less.
Yep.
Whereas Brittin has played far more. So we're just going to talk about kind of our favorites. from
Actually,
this
I've played
year.
about 6, I think.
Zach
6 or
thought
7.
about renting several of his games.
So he'll weigh in.
Next
on
year he'll
that.
take that
Hang on. I
step.
have to Google something. I'll give you
He'll
an
weigh
answer
in
later.
on
Okay.
rental
Yeah,
costs.
So, Brittin has pulled up a list of the game releases from
Give me that.
2017,
Give me that, Brooks.
and
Our
Brooks
furry
just tried to
squad
steal
mother
it.
is trying to get
And
that
so
done.
he's going to take us through the list and just talk about some of the notable entries
Yeah.
before we get to our own personal favorites.
Oh, what do you have to say, Zach?
Oh, damn it.
What?
I had something, but
Hey,
it's gone now.
watch your
Okay.
mouth,
Oh, good.
youngster.
Perfect. We'll kind of go month by month.
Okay.
I'm not going to mention every game because this
I have
list
the
is like
same list.
300-400 strong.
But you're not going to
We're on
name
the same
every
list.
single one of the like 400 some games that came out.
It's more than that.
200 at least.
No, it's more than
We'll
that,
hit
too.
we'll hit the
Sorry.
highlights month by month, and then at the end we'll kind of dig a little deeper into some of the
So
stuff we
my
really
highlights in
liked.
January.
Can you hold off for a
Jeez,
second?
calm down.
Brooks, let him lead.
Slow
the
your
segment.
roll.
Look,
You don't even have segments.
I'll remember.
He
I'll remember
wants
who
to
to
lead
not
it.
invite next time. Anyway, games.
Well-
Wait. Games.
Beautiful. We're looking at January here. I'm going to start with the obvious highlight of the entire year, Milkmaid of the Milky Way for PC, Mac, and iOS.
100%.
Just
Game-
a fantastic
game of the decade,
experience.
for sure.
Have any of you guys heard of that?
Nope.
Didn't think so. Okay, let's mention some things you guys have probably at least seen or played a little bit of. Dan, you played Fate Extella, the Umbral Star.
I did.
Do you have
Yeah.
anything you want to say about that?
Um,
I don't think you played much, right?
I mean, it's like Dynasty Warriors mixed with a visual novel. That being said, I enjoyed the gameplay. It was fun
Dumbest
gameplay, but it wasn't anything spectacular. I enjoyed it because it's Fate, and I really like the Fate stories.
And I think a lot of those Muso games, the Dynasty Warrior type games, are built with that in mind.
Yep.
Here's a world you like, characters you like,
Yeah.
so you'll probably play this game.
By the way, did you find out if that has multiplayer?
No, I haven't looked.
God, if it doesn't, that's going to be really weird for that kind of game. Really weird.
I've never played a Muso game, to be honest with you guys.
It's normally 4-player against hordes and hordes and hordes, so having a 1-player would be ridiculous.
Okay.
But
It hasn't been too bad
see.
so,
So-
far. I haven't gotten that far into it either. So
gotcha.
I'm curious.
What's up?
What day is it?
The 21st?
No, day, not date.
It's
Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Thanks.
Cool. Glad we can get that established.
Wait, why?
Okay, Brooks.
Why do you timestamp this? Like, come on.
Brooks, I'm going to limit you to about a minute on this one.
That's all I
Oh,
can say.
no.
Do you want to talk about Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue
I
on
love-
PS4?
Dude.
Did
was
you
gonna say,
want to
well,
talk about Kingdom
considering-
Hearts?
Give him a minute, you guys.
So considering there's only 2 hours of gameplay, I only need about a minute anyway.
Oh, all right.
So basically, this was their demo prologue game that's 2 hours long, so that they can show off the new shadow graphics engine that Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to run, and it is gorgeous. And it covers
really cool.
it covers that 2 hour plot hole where you find out a little bit about a character that you haven't seen in a long time. No spoilers
Nice
in case
tiptoeing.
anyone wants
Good.
to play it, because Kingdom Hearts is one of those games most of the time you really don't want spoiled. So it's just going to fill in a small gap for a plot hole, and they took this advantage to kind of show off how their engine is going to be. And it's gorgeous. I would rent it, play it, and take it back probably.
It sounds like this has made you more optimistic for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh yeah, the shadow graphics
Based on the
engine
engine.
is gorgeous. Like, and it works on. I did it on a digital TV, an HD TV, and a 4K TV, and on all platforms. It looked pretty decent.
Awesome. Kingdom Hearts.
And
Kingdom
Dream Drop
Hearts.
Distance is on there too if you don't have a 3DS.
You
Have at
you
it.
love it or you
That
hate
didn't
it.
come out this year.
It did.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did. January.
Did it really?
I got the
Yep.
list right here, man. That's what we're working with.
Wow, that is an
Did
awful
anyone
game.
play
you
Resident
really
Evil
gonna
7
question
this year?
Kingdom Hearts?
What?
Did anyone play Resident Evil 7? It's a
I
pretty
mean-
big release. That was the first big release of the
Zach,
year.
anything
The
about renting
only
it?
thing I can say about Resident Evil 7, I don't know if anyone else has played it, but I did do the demo of the VR
All right.
last
PAX.
year
Mhm.
at PAX. So not this last PAX, but like a year and 3 months ago, something like that.
Weren't you like tied up in a chair? Or...
Yeah, so for the demo, you're tied up in this chair, and it was more of like a VR movie than it was a game. But you sat there, you held your controller, you had the VR headset on, and you looked around. You couldn't really see quite all the way around behind you. There was like a doorway or like a hallway off to the left. You couldn't see down, and you heard noises. And I remember at one point I noticed that like in the corner to the right there was like a dark splotch moving, and I was like, oh no, there's something there, and there totally was, and it was absolutely like a 5-minute jump scare experience,
Right.
but it was very immersive. So I definitely I didn't push myself out of my chair like I'm sure some people probably would have tried to. But
Did you scream, Dan?
I didn't scream.
Did you cry?
I don't actually
afterwards?
tend to have vocal reactions to things.
like
I have
shake.
much more physical ones.
Sure.
So if I'm gonna flip out about something, I'm not shouting about it. I'm
Defense mode.
wiggling around violently or something.
Sounds
So,
menacing.
that's all I can say. I don't have any other knowledge about the game.
I had a
Alright.
friend who played it, and she was in the part where you're stuck in some of the underground passages, and you're
Stuff's
crawling
intense.
through them. And she said she had to put the game down. She had to take it off and put it down for the night because you're crawling through a tunnel that's about as big as you are, maybe a little too small even, a dirt tunnel
Yeah,
underground.
no.
And you literally flip around and there's zombies crawling after you and crawling to the sides of you, and you are just like, okay, I need to get out of here like yesterday.
The only way I was
Yeah,
able to get through
that
some
would freak
some
me out.
Let's
That'd freak me
Play
out.
of this game is by
What's
watching
that?
PewDiePie do it, because
Yeah.
he's ridiculous,
I
he's
can see that.
irreverent, his screams kind of lighten any mood when he's playing horror
I've
games.
watched
so-
more PewDiePie in the last few months than I have for the rest of my life combined. My roommate likes PewDiePie
he needs
a lot.
it. He needs your support. He needs this plug that we're giving him. You know,
Yeah.
he's struggling these days.
Clearly.
The VGRX boost incoming.
let's
Yeah.
throw him a bone, you guys.
All right, what else do
Throw,
you got?
throw
All right,
a shout out.
I'm gonna jump to February here.
All right.
What? What are you looking at?
Oh, Brooksy was excited about something.
Oh yeah, we're getting there for sure, for sure.
Is it Doki Doki Literature Club?
It's not that yet. Hey,
Oh,
we'll
sorry,
get there.
Spoilers.
I want to mention Neo. Game looked really cool. It's kind of like a feudal Japan take on Dark Souls, the
Okay.
Souls games.
Yeah,
And it was really
right.
popular. I didn't get around to playing it, unfortunately. I would have liked to. One of those kind of brutally hard, very meticulous combat type games. I'd like to play it at some point.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys are fascinated to hear that.
Anything
about me.
else?
Oh, we're moving.
Are you gonna
Okay.
rent it or?
Zach, should we
Here
rent
comes-
it together? We can go to Redbox after this.
Speaking of games Zach almost rented,
All right. You guys ready?
I'm
I
ready.
think Brooks is ready for this.
I'm ready.
Scotty, you're going to want to chime in too. Do
Did
you
you
guys
say
want to talk
Call
about
of Duty?
Horizon Zero Dawn a little
Yeah.
bit? That was a February release as well.
Yes.
Scott can start. I talked already.
Did you play it at all?
I beat it.
Oh, you beat it.
I played it all the way through and did every single side mission in
Got
the entire
it. See,
game.
okay,
I 100%ed it.
I didn't beat it. I didn't 100% it, but I did play a good 30 to 40 hours of it. Absolutely loved it. The visuals were super cool. Everything just scales. I feel like it got harder with every single zone you went into. And this isn't really a spoiler. At one point in the game, kind of when you start to get to like the deserty, the generic deserty area that every game has, you fight bird type machines. And
They're so terrible.
my god,
That
they
was in the
are
trailer.
the hardest, most difficult.
She's got a bow and arrow. What's the problem?
I,
and it's like a
the thing is that
tech bow.
Robots
Shoots lasers,
have
right?
robots have jets. They can move in ways that birds cannot actually.
yeah.
move.
So it's like this thing was eluding me, and killing it was so satisfying.
And shooting lightning at you.
yeah.
Does she have like a bullet time kind of thing that she can do with the bow and arrow?
Kinda, a little bit,
Kinda.
but only
You
when
have
you're
to
in the
have that.
air.
And there's
Okay.
there's a few other weapons that are also pretty nifty. What I will say is the side missions are very expansive and very good and allow for lots of exploration. My favorite part of the game is my favorite part of most games, the stealthiness. The game is difficult because if you get shot at too much, you're going to die. So you need to bring in that stealth and really work with it. And there's a lot of little tips and tricks that as a hunter in the game are actually make the game a little bit more stealthy and make it just more gives it something more.
Stealth can
I
be
don't know why I
stealth
can't
can be
think of the
bad too.
When you have
But
to
I'm
do
glad
it
to
too
hear it's
much.
good in this game. There's tons of games mess up stealth, and it just becomes like this tedious, slow, boring part of the game that you just can't wait to get through.
I
So
think
I'm
the-
glad to hear it's still represented in good ways.
The
too
game
these
was
days.
fun, the story was good, the combat was good, everything was really good about it, and that's why it was nominated for Game of the Year. you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So-
A lot of people would probably say it was their game of the year.
The only thing I will say is while there was an extended DLC, the replay value of the game is not really a
There.
big thing.
Yeah,
You
there's
don't
a new
really
game
wanna
plus,
do,
but
yeah, you really don't want to do side quests after. The new game plus is great, but you're already stronger than everything. If I can take down the biggest monster in the game, why would I want to go through and start again fighting the smallest one?
and the
It
human
doesn't make
AI
any
is
sense.
pretty not the best to be desired. That's
No.
for sure. They just like to
Humans-
stand in front of you and be like, "Hey, shoot me in the face!"
But they are also
My
like
kind of game.
cavemen people.
I mean,
So there's
And
story justification.
You just
for their
happen to be
stupidity.
you just happen to be one of the smarter ones.
question mark, question mark, question mark. Let's move on.
All right.
I
Yes.
think we talked about
Do you guys know what happened on March 3rd, 2017?
yes.
The world changed
Yes.
forever.
From what you
We
said,
live in a different world
Breath
today.
of the Wild was released.
No, that's not what I'm talking
Oh.
about.
Well, with Breath of the Wild, of course.
Oh, the
Switch came
Nintendo
out.
Switch.
Now you're talking, Dan.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, got it.
Yeah,
Got
the Switch
it.
came out, and along with it, a modest amount
A
of launch
plethora
games.
of games
There-
in comparison to the Wii U.
There wasn't a ton day one.
There was 3
Um,
games, and only 2 of them were okay.
I'm sorry, Shovel
There
Knight
was some
came out
downloadable
day
stuff.
Oh, yeah, I forgot Shovel Knight did come out the same day.
1-2
didn't it?
Switch, game of the year. Anybody? Probably
Stop,
not.
stop.
No, but I did play it.
Should we talk about
It
Ice
was
Cubes?
enjoyable.
World of
Um,
Goo, good game.
Yeah, but that's
One-
also a 5-year-old.
Okay, so first off, World of Goo's been out for years, just
Yeah.
not on the Switch.
Yeah.
so.
Same with Shovel Knight.
We don't
but
care.
still, great games came out on
but
the
yeah,
system.
1-2 Switch, surprisingly good.
I
It
mean-
suffers for not having been bundled with the system, to be
Yes.
honest, in the way that like Wii Sports.
That was the sentiment. Everybody said this is the pack-in game. Nintendo,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
But for that, it still was a quality game. I
Everybody
definitely
probably
enjoyed
has-
my time with it.
Everybody probably has at least one friend that picked it up and got to get their
Yep.
hands on it
yeah.
because people were just hurting for something to play.
I'll
at launch,
be
other
honest
than
with
Zelda.
you. This was my experience.
Mhm.
When I got my Switch, I was at the store buying it, and I went back. Shut up. I went to GameStop, reserved it, wait until midnight until they released it. I went up to the counter. I was like, I'm going to buy 1-2 Switch. And then I bought it, dropped $60 on it, not really thinking. And then just kind of thought about it, and I was just looking. I was just on Facebook, and I saw some post saying 1-2 Switch is garbage. Don't buy it. So I went back to the counter. I was like, can I not get this
In the store,
instead?
changed your mind. Didn't
Yeah,
turn
in
around.
store, changed my mind.
Nicely done.
And
Well
I
played.
got a wireless controller instead. It was way better purchase.
All right.
Well, and then you can rent Zach, or or
Dang,
you can
Zach.
get a used version of the game,
I'm sorry.
and that way, when you return it after a few days of gameplay and decide you don't like it, instead of having bought it new and only getting $2 for it at GameStop, you can take it back used and get the full price.
You're either advertising for GameStop or telling us how to use
Yeah,
and abuse GameStop.
I don't know what you're saying.
Abuse
right now.
GameStop because they're
Okay.
going to abuse you.
Anyway, we talked about what about Breath of the Wild?
Can
I think we should.
Breath of the
talk-
Wild was a big deal, and we're going to talk about it later.
Right.
Okay.
There's
Okay,
a lot of
okay,
us have thoughts
okay.
on it.
Yeah.
Well, a few of us have thoughts on it. So
Yeah.
that'll be one of the things we double back on at the end when
Yeah.
we're all talking about
Okay,
like our
for
favorite
sure.
That's fine.
stuff.
We'll
Or least favorite. Oh, whoops. Did I
Zach,
just say
do you
that
have an
out loud?
opinion about the Switch?
No.
Okay, let's go on.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the same list.
Got it.
Hey, how about you put your phone away, bro?
Hey!
It's rude.
No.
Okay.
Did anyone play Near Automata, whatever
No, but
that
I've
is?
seen so much fan
I
art for it.
That
want
was up
to
for a
play.
lot of
There's a lot of
awards and stuff.
There's a lot of.
Isn't
fan art
that?
for
It's
it,
a
yeah.
remake, isn't it?
No, it's a sequel.
Okay, because I saw the things for the first game and I really wanted to play it because I heard it was really, really good.
I don't even really know what it is. Sci-fi, way over the
I
top,
believe
crazy
it's a
combat.
JRPG too.
Okay. None of us know anything about it, so let's just move on. But
Yeah.
from what I understand, it's
I guess that has to go
it's
on
up there
someone's
as far as
list.
games
It's
this year.
it's a mystery mecha JRPG.
Brooks, you want to say something about
guess
the
I'll
Elder
get it
Scrolls
then.
Legends? A card game?
Yes.
better
So
be good.
the Elder Scrolls Legend was fun in its campaign mode and everything. The only thing I will touch on is it's definitely similar to Hearthstone, but they did try to make it different, which we appreciate. I'm not saying they were successful in that, but it was a fun game. I played it for like 6 months, I think.
I mean, you slap Elder Scrolls on anything, and it will get some attention.
Yeah, and I mean, every card game in existence pretty much is based on another card game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is somewhat loosely based on Magic
Solitaire.
the Gathering.
Oh, whoop.
Pokemon is also somewhat loosely based on Magic the Gathering.
Sure.
Everything,
What are you trying to
everything
say
comes
here?
from everything.
There's just
You
nothing
saying
new.
that Magic the Gathering started it all?
No, because there was another game, and I don't even remember what it's called, that started that Magic is loosely based off of.
Great.
This is the year also that Mass Effect kind of lost its way. I think most people
Wouldn't it-
decided that the franchise jumped the shark
One
at
of
this
the worst
point with
games
Mass
of the
Effect
year.
Andromeda.
Yeah, one of the worst games of the year.
Worst games are like biggest disappointments.
Probably both.
Okay.
I
Alright.
don't know anybody that played it.
I'm sure mechanically it was
Honestly.
playable, but
It
no,
was- it was-
that bad, huh?
I saw a lot of information about this game.
Unplayable.
It wasn't
Literally.
unplayable. It was playable, but it would be like the player models weren't fully fleshed out. It felt like so you would have a conversation with one person, and then you would say, "Hey, this person died," and the other person would be smiling, be like, "Oh, that's so sad," but like still keeping a straight smile
no.
on their face the entire time.
Yeah.
There would be clipping of characters into each other the entire time.
Those are details that probably would have been ironed out if they had an appropriate amount of time to work on it.
It was a different studio that made the game too.
Okay.
It wasn't the same studio.
BioWare, right? It was not
So
BioWare,
it was not
you're telling me?
I'm pretty sure it was not BioWare.
Gotcha.
Double check me on that.
Brooks,
I
you
will.
you get one more minute. Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remake.
Because
you
Go.
do know that I love Kingdom Hearts. Probably,
Scotty
if
does.
not,
It's his favorite game ever.
it's one of my favorite games of all
Yeah?
time. Too.
Not one of mine. It is.
Did you play-
I've looked
did you
up
play
all
this
the
release,
lore and
Scotty?
done
Yes.
everything.
All right.
Every single Kingdom Hearts
You
game
get
that
1
has
minute
come
too.
out.
Go.
Okay. So,
Talk
Kingdom
over
Hearts
each other.
1.5 and 2.5, neither of which came out this year, but both of which came out together on PS4 and was a game for $60 on PS4 or $40 for PS4 for 2 games. Sorry, 6 games.
Yikes.
That's unbelievable. Honestly, it's 4 games and 2 cinematic movies, one of which is 20 hours long, which is
It's awful.
awful.
It's awful.
I would
About
rather.
an app. About an app.
I would no. That one's only 12 hours, but 358 and a half days is 20 hours long, and I would rather just have the game because it is a thrilling story, and just watching the cinematics screws it up.
People get so mad about Skyrim having been re-released, rehashed, whatever you want to call it, so many times.
But
I seem to
they
remember
made-
this just coming out for PS3 like 2 years ago.
They
But
changed
they
everything
don't
for Kingdom
port
Hearts. though.
anything for PS3, and 1.5 and 2.5 remix have at
Completely
least
different.
10 to 15 hours of added content per game.
And it's
on
different.
every single game.
Is that a good thing or
Yes.
Yes.
I don't
Fantastic.
like the Lord of the Rings extended editions. I'm probably in the minority
You
on that.
are
You
a
can have
disgusting
too much of a
human being.
good thing.
Brittin, you have a lot of controversial opinions.
Apparently
Hey,
I do.
hey,
I'm sorry.
Anyway, let's
This
move
is
on for Kingdom
Brittin.
Hearts. Clearly, we
Yeah.
need to reserve Kingdom
Look,
Hearts for an
I think that was about 2
No,
minutes.
I'm
Brittin,
pretty much- yeah,
I'll
that's
tell
it.
you
Okay.
what. I've never seen Lord of the Rings before in my life.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Never.
Talk about controversial
stop.
statements. Goodness gracious.
Come on.
Zach, tell
Who am I
me you
even
have.
talking
At least
to?
you'll have a one-up on Scott.
What?
Yeah, I
Have
need
you
a
seen Lord
Zach
of the
break.
Rings? Okay, Zach has seen Lord of the Rings and Scott has not. The tables are now even. Somewhat, not really, but okay. Did you rent it?
So what next?
Yeah, I did. Totally.
So what-
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What is
Hollywood.
that?
Moving
Yeah.
into April.
Okay, that was my birthday.
April started off with a bang
Happy
with
birthday.
Persona 5.
I did not.
Somebody's got to have thoughts on
I have
Persona
never
5.
played a
Played.
Persona
Alright,
game.
I have some thoughts on Persona 5.
Okay,
Ooh.
well, we're skipping
So,
it.
haven't actually played it, but I did watch people play quite a bit of it, actually.
Okay.
It's a JRPG. It is not like the JRPGs you're thinking of because it's not at all Final Fantasy.
No.
It shares some mechanics here and there, a menu-based, turn-based combat system. I mean, that's JRPG bread and butter, but the setting is so radically different.
Well, half of the setting is radically different, right?
I mean, all of the setting is radically different
Okay.
from Final Fantasy.
oh, sure.
Yeah. And it's... Brooksy, calm
It's
down.
every single time.
It's his text message.
I can see why people liked it a lot.
Okay.
It is
By-
very much. It's a very strong story. The other thing to take away from it, where a game like Final Fantasy is a JRPG and it's all combat, right? It's moving from dialogue to combat, and that's about it. A good chunk of any Persona game, Persona 5 included, is doing the sort of day-to-day interactions and like deciding like who are you going to talk to today because you have this day. So every day in the game is actually a date. It's like October 28th. What are you doing that day?
And we should clarify, the setting is high school, essentially. And that's true
like-
of all
like
of the
modern day high school.
the Persona
and
games.
then the other half of the setting is something totally different, but
Fantasy
play the
world
game.
infested with demons, stuff
play
like
the
that.
game to figure that out.
Yeah.
It was definitely a quality game for what I saw of it. And I thought about playing it and then just never got around to it because I didn't own it or a system I could play it on at the time.
Yeah. Didn't get to it either. Hey, Scotty,
What's up?
you're a big Banjo-Kazooie fan.
Yes,
Am I right
am.
about that?
Yeah, you're going to talk
We've
about
had talks.
ukulele.
Yeah, do you want to say anything about ukulele? That came
okay.
out in April as well.
I unfortunately haven't played it, but I do know a lot about it. Ukulele is essentially all the old members of Rareware came together, made a game that was essentially the successor to Banjo-Kazooie. It was really good, and it basically mimicked exactly what Banjo-Kazooie is, but not only is that a good thing, but it's also a bad thing because it took kind of some of the bad parts from Banjo-Kazooie over. So you have this game that is on. I think it was on Wii U. It's coming on the Switch. It was on Xbox, PC, all these consoles. But the problem is that it kept the same, chunky cameras and stuff that you had on the N64. So unfortunately, they have the good parts of Banjo-Kazooie, but they also have the bad parts, and it's a really short game.
Mm-hmm.
So they could have probably done better, and I think they still could potentially make maybe another one that's bigger and better and just listen to the gripes. But it sold very well. It was a very good game.
When these nostalgia-based things come along that are like directly aping games of yesterday,
Yeah.
it feels like they're always a double-edged sword. They often stick way too close to the formulas that it is they're based on, and in doing that, they don't do anything new. They don't break any new ground or feel in any way like modern.
Unfortunately,
And we think
yeah.
we're
And
gonna.
we'll
we think
talk,
we want.
We'll talk about this more later too, because Pokemon did come out this year.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
What does that have to do with Pokemon?
Enough said.
Just
Apparently that
Games of
applies here as
yesterday,
well.
because Pokemon doesn't release the same game.
I will say.
I guess by yesterday I mean 90s and early
I mean,
thousands, but
when did Pokemon first come out?
yeah, sure.
93.
I will say the game is a lot of fun, and Grant Kirkhope did the music for it, and he's one
Yeah.
of the best game composers.
He
of
did a
all
lot
time.
of work this year. He
Yes,
was
he did.
He was a busy composer
Yeah.
this year, and it was all really good.
Yes. So if you guys never listen to Grant Kirkhope, go listen to his music. It's fantastic.
I at least want to mention the Disney Afternoon Collection. These are games I grew up playing with
So
my big
Brittin
brother
has-
in the
Brittin has 3 kids.
either very late 80s or early 90s. Well, no, I mean, do you know what these games? Do you know what this is?
No, I have no
This
idea.
is DuckTales 2, Chip and Dale
Oh,
Rescue
that's what you
Rangers,
meant.
Rescue
Oh, that's
Rangers
cool.
2, Darkwing Duck, and it was re-released for
Darkwing Duck.
forget this PS4, Xbox One, and PC, not the Switch. And these are all NES
Oh,
games.
So
It was kind of a huge slap in the face, and I've still kind of been waiting to hear them announce it for the Switch because it would just make so
Yeah,
much
but you're
sense.
waiting for a lot of things. To
Now
come
that
to
he
Switch.
said
Like,
it,
I don't
pretty much
know, maybe
everything.
Dark Souls.
Pretty much
Brittin has a
everything.
magic power with this.
Yeah, I know people, not really.
No, he just has the magic power. I don't know how, but we've discussed like 4 games that we were like, hey, it'd be great if they were remade like this year, and all of them.
Well, it's
happened.
just because Switch is hot.
I wasn't talking about on Switch either.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I love how your mind immediately goes to the Switch. Like
One track
Yes.
mind.
Anything
One,
Can
else
you
in
blame me?
April?
Last thing in April, I just wanted to drop real quick. We don't have to get into is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Oh,
It was kind of the big port from Wii U to Switch this year because I guess Splatoon 2 is kind of close, but this is a straight up port with very little added to it. But it just fell right at home with Switch, and it's one of the best selling games on the
I
system.
had
so
played some 8 on the Wii U, but I didn't own it. Then I picked it up for the Switch, played it. It was quite enjoyable.
and you're a perfect test case because the Switch is
Yeah.
selling so much better than the Wii U. That game needed to be put on a new
It
platform
did.
that stands a
And I'm
chance.
glad that they did that instead of trying to make a whole new one.
And
I think
portable
it makes more
racing.
sense that way.
And it did a good job
Yeah,
filling
portable
out.
racing. It feels at home on the console.
Yep.
So
Yeah, we needed stuff in the first few months, and that
What
was
about
a
May?
good hit.
May is very sparse from what I'm seeing.
Does anybody like Prey?
I liked Prey like the original Xbox game.
Yeah, I
But
did too. It was cool.
I heard the new Prey was not
It's
very
not as good. Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to get into that.
We
We
will.
do have Injustice 2 in May.
Go for it.
Did you play
I-
Injustice 2?
Played a demo for it, but from what I saw and all, I did follow all the reviews on it because I was curious if it was going to be any different. The story is almost identical to the first one, which
it's a fighting game.
Superman is the bad guy from an alternate universe, and everyone has to stop him and his alternate universe baddies. It's literally cut and paste.
You talking about the story in a
However-
fighting game right now?
Yeah, exactly.
However, the fighting is still Mortal Kombat based, still really good,
Mhm.
and with this one they're doing something different. They're adding character packs, which is nice.
Great
You're getting
DLC,
characters-
fantastic.
You're getting characters from other
Hey,
things,
not all
and not
DLC
all
is
of
bad.
them are paid. Not all of them are
I know
paid.
you
Some
get
of
you
them
get
are
like 4
downloads.
characters per like pack.
And it's
that you
kinda
buy,
nice.
so.
Yeah.
Because in the first game they released the definitive edition, and if you got it, they unlocked everything in the game for you, and there was pretty much no point in playing the game.
Haha.
So
Fair enough.
it's nice that they're giving you more for this game.
Anything else in May?
No, that was it for
Okay,
May.
June.
June, 2 pretty sizable expansions for pretty popular MMOs came out in June. Do any of us play MMOs? I don't
Oh,
really,
it was
but
one of those.
Mhm.
Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood and
Yeah.
the Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind. It's funny that these massive expansions for 2
And-
competing games dropped in
now
the same
it was
month.
it was a different
That's
month, but then
probably
also
intentional.
Yeah.
Guild Wars 2 came out with an expansion this year as well.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah, I think it was later.
Got it.
And I've played all 3 of those
Okay.
at least a bit.
Not the expansions, just the base games, right?
Yeah, I
Or-
can't actually speak to the Final Fantasy one because I went to go and upgrade my my account, and then they were like, "Yeah, so because you have your account on Steam, but you upgraded it through our website, actually you can't put those things together."
You broke the internet.
Yeah, I was kind of upset about that, so I haven't gone back to play it at all.
That sounds like a ridiculous oversight. on
Final
their part.
Fantasy, so Final
that would
Fantasy
be
14 is a
irritating.
fun game, and I've been told that it has a great story. The problem is that Square Enix's account infrastructure is awful.
It is.
I have
Yeah.
never
Oh.
run into a set of account like things that are more frustrating. You have to set up like 4 different accounts
Oh god, it's
to
so
play the
bad.
game. It's
and
really dumb.
I have to set up an account
no
just
thanks.
to play Final Fantasy VII on Steam.
Yeah.
Wow.
here's
That's a
what
single
one of the
player game.
problem is too. Their website does not run well either. It's like
Yeah.
going to a third-party website. Like, think
Yep.
about if you went to, instead of the Battle.net website, you went to Diablo 2's OG website, and how bad that website is. That's how Final Fantasy XIV's website runs now.
And on top of that, they don't let you know that you have different accounts that you need to be signing up for. They're like, you need to go and sign into this account on the website. And I do that, and it's like, yeah, actually you need to sign into this account over there, but here is a completely different account altogether. So anyway,
they don't want people to
4G's
play their
probably
game.
fine. It's just they really need to like take
Sure.
a look at that and fix that.
They do.
Elder Scrolls Morrowind, I played a little bit of it. So I only ever played a little bit of Morrowind in the past. Morrowind, when I played it back in the day, felt big and felt expansive. I never got into it, but I got that much out of it. And the expansion for the MMO made it feel small. It made it feel like you walked around the corner and now you're in a different city.
Wow.
And maybe that's just the gulf of time that has made it feel that way. But it definitely felt less.
MMOs generally don't
That
struggle with
way.
expansiveness.
I
You know,
feel
that's
that
all I
way about the whole game.
Yeah,
Huh.
and I think
The whole
that's
game
I think that's
feels
ESO in general.
Small and generic.
I
in
played
my
both, and
opinion.
I
Too
didn't
bad.
like either of them.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Thanks for
Probably
that.
good to move on.
ARMS came out in what month are we in?
I
June.
want to play it.
I played about 30 hours of
Do you
ARMS.
want to play it? It's really not that great.
Do you have it, Scotty?
I do.
But
I sold it, actually.
I liked Wii boxing.
It's a really good game. It's
nothing like that, unfortunately.
Damn.
it's not a $60 game,
It's
but it's a really good game. If this game was priced maybe $39.99, I could recommend it to a lot more people. But it's hard to say shell out $60 for this fairly limited fighting game.
Yeah.
That said, they've added a lot of content since launch. There's at least 4 or 5 new fighters. There's actually a new one hitting today, if I'm not mistaken.
Huh.
But they're supporting it kind of like they do with or did with Splatoon 1. Just after release, they're constantly adding more characters, more arenas, things like that. And it's a great test case for the motion controls that the Switch offers, which some people want to see die a horrible death in flames.
Look.
I like motion controls. I want them to
I'll
stick
be
around
honest,
in some
I
capacity.
played the game and I had more fun playing with a regular controller than I did with motion.
I tried with a controller with buttons and sticks. I could not make that work.
Yeah.
The motion controls are cool on the Switch, don't get me wrong, but it's just, there's no reason to make a $60 game
hmm
and then be like, hey, motion controls.
This was probably the obligatory, these things have motion controls. We want to make sure people realize that
And it
get
was,
a game out there that
was all right
capitalizes
for
on
that,
it.
So
What else came out
Yeah,
in
what was
July?
next?
That was, there's one
There's not
more
a whole
in
lot
June.
coming up.
Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy. I don't know if we have any Crash Bandicoot fans. A lot of people, that's very near and dear to their hearts.
I didn't touch the
Absolutely love
game. The memes drove me crazy.
Yeah.
Which was it wasn't
Oh,
even
it's
from
great.
that game. It just happened to come back out.
Well,
Zach,
it
are you
was
a
the
fan?
screen from that
Of
game.
Crash
Was it?
Bandicoot?
Yeah.
Yes.
OG Crash Bandicoot, or did you play this re-release?
No,
or
I
what?
played it when I was younger.
Wow.
Yeah, it sits near and dear to my heart.
So when Super Mario 64 was out there, and I don't know, I guess like Banjo-Kazooie, what made you want to go with Crash Bandicoot back then? Or was it just another option rather than this is my jam
I think it was
instead?
like the
He
style-
didn't want Nintendo, maybe.
I think it was the style. It was the style of the game.
Yeah?
Yeah, you just loved it.
It was a weird amalgamation of
What a word.
kind of 3D and 2D,
Yeah.
because you would be running either horizontally or like into the background and foreground or horizontally, and it was all rendered in 3D.
Right.
It was weird because it was not a fully 3D explorable environment like a lot of the other games we're talking about. But yeah, people liked it a lot.
And
It
I
was
heard-
hard. I remember it being really hard.
Yeah.
They kept that difficulty, and they, I believe, added more than a few levels coming up.
All right. So it might be worth shelling out for if you like those old games.
Yeah, if you're into it, I'd say go for it. There was a lot of PlayStation remakes this year,
Yeah.
which I'm sure we'll get into.
There's one right here. Final. I'll give you guys a minute.
Oh,
Coffee
no.
break. I'll be right back.
Oh, I broke Scotty.
Okay.
Oh
What do
my
you got?
god. Okay, sorry.
Collect yourselves.
Sorry.
Where are
Okay.
we at?
What do you got?
The Final Fantasy 12 remake came out.
I don't care.
Did anyone like Final Fantasy 12?
I
don't
played
want to
it,
talk about
and it was the
anymore.
first game.
Are you waiting for a certain game?
God, no, I just don't want to talk about stupid games.
Well, we'll just take this very short time for Final Fantasy.
Okay.
So 12, it was the first game that was not turn-based, and because of that, I gave it a chance, but I don't like the flow of the combat.
It
so
kinda
the
played
remake
like an
is mid-year
MMO.
for me.
It was.
The
Yeah, it was
little
not
beam
turn-based.
coming out of your head, and then you swing, and it's delayed is really while Zach strips. It's very interesting. So we can just move on. I
Splatoon
think.
2 also came out in July.
I feel like you're just picking all the Switch games.
No, I mean,
No,
I'll hand the list
he's
over.
not.
and you
Where
can
his
guys
eyes
go out
go
if you
to.
want.
This is the reason why I'm looking at the
No,
list,
you-
too.
Here's-
You guys
here's the
should
moral.
be.
Okay,
I mean-
Splatoon 2 was fun.
Nintendo
Okay.
had these constant releases throughout the year. There wasn't as much of that on the other
You said that
systems.
to me?
Yeah, well.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, Splatoon 2 is great. It's a known quantity.
This is my controversial opinion. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
don't like Splatoon 2 personally.
You have a very specific
get-
reason for
I
that
get
too,
why
Dan.
people do, but I just couldn't
Does it
get
go
into
beyond your
Limited brain. I
the,
mean,
the problems that you had with the motion controls?
I mean, it was cool, but nothing about it grabbed me.
Mhm.
And then the controls too were just that was too much for me.
Also, and this
understand.
could be a design flaw with the way the game is put
Yeah.
together. But until you hit level 10 online, you're not really playing what
I
the
still haven't
what the
gotten
real
level
online
10.
modes of the game are.
But
You're
that
just playing
wasn't-
turf wars,
but
which is
that-
paint the ground.
Wasn't really what it was. It just I don't know.
Okay.
It's interesting enough. I guess the standard Nintendo goofy aesthetic by itself isn't enough to draw me in.
This is a
Depending
very
on-
unique aesthetic. This is
Sure.
not standard Nintendo. This is weird.
Okay,
This is
it's
out
still goofy.
there. Yeah.
I agree. It's
And
goofy.
I mean, and
Kitty.
Mario's the same way. Mario's
bring
fine.
kids and
I
adults
like
together.
Mario.
Who even
but
are you?
Mario by itself doesn't just grab me, right?
It has to
Now
offer
Mario has
something.
the advantage of having fun gameplay 95% of the time, right?
Yeah.
Like in general, a Mario game is engaging that way, and that's enough. I've played through all of Mario 64 as an example.
Yep.
But yeah, Splatoon 2 didn't have anything that drew me in specifically, and then on top of that, I couldn't find a control scheme that I liked.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah. That just
put it
drove the
down.
point home for you, I suppose. Huh? Okay. Moving
What
on.
else do you got?
Moving on.
Put it down.
Let's go to August.
August is kind of.
There was a
It's pronounced sparse.
there was an
Sparse.
Uncharted game in August, which seems
What's
crazy
Uncharted?
to say. I love Uncharted, and this just kind of flew completely under my radar.
Did you not even know?
Is this
No,
the
I-
one?
I did.
Is this the one with the girl?
Nathan
Yeah.
Drake's not in it. There's the two main characters are girls from previous Uncharted games, and they're cool characters. But for me, Uncharted is the characterization. It is Nathan Drake, his adventure, his story, and
Isn't that by
when you
Square
move-
Enix?
no.
Yeah,
No.
Uncharted 4 really come
Naughty
out
Dog.
in 2016.
Oh. Well, Naughty Dog.
2017
is
Zach.
that.
I know.
Yeah, Uncharted 4 was 16.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's also odd to have
you
Uncharted
play
games
Uncharted?
2 years back to back.
I got up to 3.
Got it. What'd you like about it?
A lot of people
Or
like
didn't
the
like about it.
story.
I
That's
hated.
what
I
get.
hated 1.
My brother loves.
Isn't
All right,
that your
I'm
fa-
out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that your favorite one?
No, it's
Yeah.
not only my favorite Uncharted, it's one of my favorite games of all time.
Brandon
It's
loves
incredible.
One I hated.
I
It
have
was
a ve-
garbage.
Now's not the time, but I have
Yeah.
a very, very specific and clear reason that it resonated so strongly with me.
Well, I'll
In
tell
any
you what,
case,
Brittin, you're wrong.
What else
so,
in
That's cool.
August?
Yeah, what else
Okay,
can-
let's continue in August,
Yeah.
shall we?
Oh, don't you dare! Okay, go ahead.
We
Just
gotta-
don't
we
leave.
got- we
Just
got-
don't leave August till I chime back in.
we gotta keep it going though. So we gotta
Mario
put
Rabbids.
Yeah,
Kingdom
thanks,
Battle.
Rux. You delivered.
Yeah.
One of the best games of the year.
I've
Or
got one for
if
Scott,
not
too.
that,
Okay, I'm out of here.
if not that, the biggest surprise of the
For
year
Brittin.
for sure.
That I will absolutely agree.
Going into this
Yeah.
thing, people were flabbergasted, even
It
furious.
seemed
of
like a really
the idea,
weird mix.
the idea of sullying, if you will, a Mario game, which is one of the most sacred franchises in gaming, with the Rabbids, which are bottom of the barrel as far as most people are concerned. And
This is a
It came
$2 game
together-
franchise versus a multi-million-dollar game franchise.
somehow,
So true.
and Ubisoft developed this. Nintendo did not make this
Right.
game. Ubisoft
To
is
add
the
insult
one
to
representing
injury.
the Rabbids part of this equation, and somehow
And then they didn't ask for microtransactions.
no.
That was
There's
weird.
DLC, but I mean, I think it's fair. It's fairly priced. It came together to make a really, really brilliant strategy experience.
Yep.
And it's one that starts kind of simple because they have to assume most of the people playing this are not deep strategy fans. It's kind of like made
And
for a more casual strategy.
Having played a lot of tactical games, which I mean is exactly what it is. It did do it. Even early on when you hadn't unlocked everything, it still felt tactical, right? And,
Right.
and it did a pretty good job of doing that without it being overwhelming like it would be in the vast majority of tactical games. I've played.
Between rounds, you're not spending like minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in menus trying to upgrade characters
Right,
and spend
it's
ability
really
points and
easy.
stuff like that.
It's really
Just
easy.
like
It's
playing
intuitive, it's fast, it's made
Yep.
to pick up and play for people that know nothing about
And if
strategy.
you enjoyed Mario and Rabbids, go take a look at some other tactical games out there. And that's, by the way, that's the term you should be looking for as a keyword.
Can you draw a
for other
distinction
games.
for us between tactical and
Tactical
strategy?
games tend to be like XCOM. It's about usually about grid-based movement. It's about handling a few individual people on a map. And cover comes into play, your exact positioning comes into play, all this stuff. Whereas strategy games, and keep in mind, this is specifically for gaming. There are probably other definitions for these words in other realms, but in gaming, strategy games is talking about stuff like StarCraft and Warcraft and Civ and, I mean, Total War even. Like, there are a lot of different types of games, but they tend to be much larger scale. A tactical game would be like one engagement of a strategy game, where a strategy game tends to vastly dumb down the tactical experience in order to make the strategic experience of it more robust.
Sure.
We gotta go.
And they don't always take forever.
We gotta go
Well,
lightning round.
It depends on the genre.
We could go a little longer, couldn't
No,
we?
we can't. We got an hour. That's it.
Sonic Mania.
Nope.
No.
Skipping.
that one?
Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Damn right! What a
This
good
is
game.
for
Do
Scott.
it.
All right, we're skipping it.
Yeah. Great story. Recommend playing it. Different company. They did a fantastic job catching the experience of the first Life is Strange. I actually met some of the developers at PAX, and they were very nice. They did, like I said, they did a very good job to capture the unique story and the love for the characters that the first one provided, and keep the stupid dialogue as well.
What's wrong with the dialogue?
The dialogue is pretty garbage, but it's really just... It's funny garbage. It's not like this is cringe garbage. It's like, God, why would... no one ever says that kind of stuff anymore. But anyway, yeah. Great game. Play it.
Cool.
Moving on.
There a lot of sports games came out this
I
month.
don't care.
Nobody
Did
cares?
anyone
Nobody
play
cares?
Destiny 2?
Okay.
Zach, do you like sports games?
Not anymore.
Okay, do you like Destiny 2?
No.
Does anyone like
Do you
Destiny
want
2?
to talk about Destiny 2?
No.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
How about Knack
I thought
2?
you did play it.
What?
How about Knack
No.
2?
How did
Anyone?
Knack 2 even
Game of the
happen?
year?
What's Knack 2?
How did
Never mind.
Knack 2
Okay.
even happen?
Skipping.
Samus Returns.
Uh,
Metroid.
We've talked about it on previous episodes. We don't have to get into it. It was more Metroid, which we hadn't gotten in a long time, but it was very much just more Metroid.
It was one of the original Metroid games on the DS.
It doesn't look
No.
like there's a whole lot left in
It's
September.
a remake
guys.
of a Game Boy game that came
Yes,
out in the 90s.
one of the original Metroid games.
You said on the
one
DS.
of the original Metroid games made on the DS.
Yeah, second Metroid game. It was okay.
Moving on.
I already went down to October.
Wait, stop.
What do
I
you
need to
got?
mention SteamWorld Dig 2. This is... I'll talk a little more later. This is one of the best games of the year, easily. And it's funny that it's positioned so closely to Metroid because it's kind of a Metroid game, Metroidvania style game, but it also plays with the idea of digging through environments, kind of like Terraria. And the way the map opens up around you, the way the environments are so diverse from one another, the way the upgrades are rolled out so that you can get around these diverse areas more quickly and more efficiently. It's just brilliant. This game has pacing unlike any other game I've
I
played
get
in
it,
a
Brittin.
long,
I'll
long
play
time.
it. Calm down.
You really should. It's on sale right now. It's $15 on the eShop. I highly
And
recommend
some of
that
these
game.
games I'm sure we'll revisit talking about in later episodes
Yeah.
as well.
Anyway, continue.
Cuphead was in September as
Okay.
well.
One
Good
of the
indie game.
best-selling games of this year.
Yes,
very,
it was.
very pretty
People
game.
loved it. I want to play it.
Where are we at on time, Scotty?
We're at almost 45.
We got plenty of time.
I know, but don't you want to talk about like some of our favorite
A little
stuff?
bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well,
I mean, anybody can chime in on any of these.
Yeah, I know. We
So,
are.
did anyone play Middle-earth Shadow of War?
Nope,
Nope.
because no one
Next.
wanted to.
I like the first one.
I have a
Didn't play
friend
the
that
second
did,
one.
and he said that from his anecdotal experience, that despite the fact that it got some bad press for being pay to win, it didn't feel like it while you were playing.
I also, for me, I looked at it and I did get to play the demo of it. I don't like reaction command combat. That's just me. This guy tries to hit you, press X, you win the fight. I don't like it. Let's get to October and talk about the 3 big hits for this year. Assassin's Creed Origins, Super Mario Odyssey,
Wait, what?
Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus.
What are you talking about?
We can skip we can skip Mario right now because we'll definitely be coming
We've
back
already
to that.
talked about it so much.
But
We have to.
anyone have things to say about
Assassin's Creed, I have
'Cause
heard nothing but good. From everyone who has played it, they said it was a huge improvement on their past couple of games, which I believe their last one with the people who didn't have faces when the game came out because they put it out incomplete. They improved a ton. I heard so much good coming from the fact that it takes place in Egypt.
Probably the bulk of why it's better is because they decided to take just a little bit longer to finish the game before the
Well, a whole year and a half, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer
And they
it
could
was.
use even longer than that. Just a couple of years ago, there was a year where there was 2 Assassin's Creed games in 1 year.
Yeah.
That's clearly excessive. And
So,
hopefully they learn
signs
that it's
that
good.
maybe Ubisoft is turning some
And-
things around.
Yeah, you're right. Battlefront 2 was great.
That's
Ubisoft.
That was EA.
Oh, was it?
EA. Nice
Yeah.
try.
My bad.
God,
Poor Ubisoft.
Zach, Call of Duty World War II.
He's not Brandon.
Zach, Call of Duty World War II. We played it the day it came out.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Dude, I haven't
Yes,
played
we
the
did.
story. The multiplayer is not worth it. I wish I could have returned it.
Honestly, you bought it at Costco, so you still can return
I still
it.
can, yeah.
But the one thing I will say is, how is it after releasing this many of these games and every single year they release one and the servers are garbage the day it comes out? How have they still
that's for every
not
game.
It's for
fixed
No,
that?
that is literally for every game, dude.
It is
Yeah.
not every game.
It is.
World of Warcraft's expansions are not garbage the day it comes out.
They've also been doing it since, 2005?
Call of Duty's been making online server games for how long?
For different consoles,
Doesn't
though.
matter.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Call
I'm
of Duty, big one.
not gonna lie. I'm on
like
Brooksy's
06.
side on this one.
Classic.
They've had enough releases by now to know how to anticipate this.
If the
sort of thing.
online multiplayer has been almost identical with their server since Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, then they need to get their act together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
3 minutes on Call of Duty? I'm impressed, you guys.
I know. I'm already want to throw up.
Dot
We're
Hack
tapped out.
GU Remake Ghost. Get it. It's got bonus content. It's fantastic. My brother already 100%ed it because he literally took a week off of work to play it. He
Dot
loved
Hack.
it.
Cool. What was it called?
Dedication.
Dot Hack GU Last Recode.
Never heard of it.
It's very
What's
good.
next?
I want to mention, but not talk about, a trio of ports to the Switch in this month, in November. Doom, Skyrim, LA Noire. And it's kind of a sign that third parties are paying attention, or
a sign
at this
that
point
Bethesda
started
wants
paying
more
attention. And they all sold pretty well, from what I understand. I played one of the 3, and it ran really well. So
I hear
I'm optimistic about
I hear
ports and-
Bethesda's next project with Skyrim is to try and port it onto the human body.
Stop it, Dan.
I thought they were going to put it on the mobile phone, so...
Oh, dude.
See, the thing is, I was joking. I bet you're not.
yeah. So, other things for November. We've
Well,
touched on Pokemon. We'll touch on Pokemon more later. That's a
Yeah.
whole nother topic. Star Wars Battlefront 2. We all hate it. We all touched on it.
We spent
Great.
like half an episode
That's
talking
great.
about it.
We
No,
don't need to hit that up
You
again.
spent half an episode talking about
You
it.
So,
let me.
December, which is the month we're in, for those of you who don't know what month it is,
Appreciate that.
Towards the end of the
Well, I mean,
year.
in fairness, if anyone ever listens to this in the future, they won't.
Good one, Dan.
so the only
We did say
thing,
the end of
honestly,
2017.
in
That's true.
December, Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Game of the year 2017.
I need you
No,
all
but
to-
it's up there. It's fantastic.
Oh,
Loving
guys,
it.
Scott doesn't want to talk about it, but 3 of us here now have played it. It's quality.
I'll be super
I've only
vague.
played it an hour, and in that hour, I was a little disinterested
you can't
at first.
talk at an hour. You need more
But-
time.
Yeah.
But as the gameplay evolved at that point where you hit about an hour and a half, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I need this game.
yeah.
Like, this
Well,
needs to happen.
you need to get a Switch first.
So, and then is
Yeah.
there
That's
anything else in
important.
December, or can we?
No,
move-
this is the last
All
game we're
right.
probably going to talk
So
about.
then I'm gonna take just a minute or two to talk about the big things for me. So first off, Zelda, which I'm just gonna let someone else talk about, but that was a big one for me. I really like that.
Should we knock out Zelda real quick?
We will. I just wanted to knock out my
How
stuff.
much
first.
time
Okay,
do we
gotcha.
got?
There was something we haven't mentioned yet, but Doki
10.
Doki Literature
Okay.
Club. If you haven't
Yeah.
played it,
It's free.
Just
it's free. Take a
literally
look. Take a
play
look.
it.
It's not for everyone.
Yeah.
I want to stress this
If you
really
just-
hard. It's not for everyone. It gives you a warning at the beginning of the game when you open it up that the game is not suitable for the easily disturbed. It's true. So take that warning seriously. But then
It's
if
not
you're
like
still,
other
if you're still
games.
even vaguely interested, give it a go and see what you can do. It's about
And
a 4-hour-long
do
experience.
not,
max.
for the love of God,
Don't
look
look
up
up-
the gameplay
don't
or
look up spoilers.
anything about
Yeah.
it because
It's a
literally
story game.
the surprise
So,
factor is the entire
but-
point
okay.
of this game.
We'll talk about it more
And
later.
that's it.
Or not. Other than that, one of my other favorite games this year was actually not released on the computer. Although it has been now. Heart of Crown is a deck building board game.
So
It's a
good.
lot of fun, and it came out on the computer this year. But it's something that I got at PAX this year, and then my housemates and I all fell in love with the game. And it's played several times a week in our house to this day.
I
several
played
months
3
later.
games last night for, 4 hours?
Yeah, something
of
like
Heart
that.
of Crown last
It normally
night.
goes faster than
And
that too.
Despite the fact that I was curb stomped on a regular basis, I loved it.
Yeah.
It's great. It's
And then
fantastic.
my last big one that I feel like I should talk about, other than once again PUBG, big deal this year. Let
Which you
someone else
didn't
talk
even
about
mention, by the way, guys.
It. Yeah, we missed a
When
few
did that
along
come
the
out?
way.
It wasn't on my list.
It
It-
hasn't
it-
yet. Well,
it came out today.
It came out today.
Okay.
December! Hey!
Happy birthday!
But then Pokemon, which I've been playing,
Relentless.
playing
it's the remake, not the remake. It's the second version of Sun and
upgraded
Moon.
version.
The difficulty is genuinely increased, and not just by increasing levels, but by making the AI of the game better. And then
I
they
was
have a bunch of
pissed.
other things in the game that make it feel like a sort of a capstone to the 3DS line, since, as a lot of people by now know, they're planning on making the next games on the Switch,
and
which I'm really looking
more
forward to.
on
We'll see if
3DS.
it's next year or the year after, but topic for another day. Pokemon is good. I've been enjoying it.
Is it?
Me
Yep.
too.
Cool.
The problem I had with the last game was it was not difficult enough. This game kicked my butt.
Yeah.
Like, just kicked me to the curb.
So that's-
and it wasn't just because of my
That's
types
my
either.
bit.
What about you, Brooks?
Brooks, anything else?
Horizon Zero Dawn was fantastic. We already touched on that. I loved it. Go play Doki Doki.
Or watch someone.
Keep
Or
saying
watch
it over and
someone
over.
play.
Yeah, just watch someone on YouTube. It's
and
fine.
again, PUBG. Just PUBG's multiplayer is fantastic.
There's only multiplayer.
It's
so
supposed
you
to
can just
be.
say PUBG.
It's supposed to be. I mean, I'm not normally into something where you do the same thing over and over. But honestly, I could play that game for days and days, and I have been. So, I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. So
Mario.
next up.
Okay, Zach.
No,
I mean, that
Brittin, go
about
ahead.
sums it up.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Really?
Really.
Tell us about Mario.
I just think
because
Mario-
we never
Bit.
actually touch on it. We
We
just
did.
talked about it.
I think because of the
Indirectly.
monolith that is Breath of the Wild, Mario kind of got overlooked this year, and it's sad to me.
I think you're wrong.
Every
I
publication
think
and the
you're
Game
wrong,
of the Year
too.
awards gave the best game of 2017 to Zelda, and I think Mario deserved it
now,
I think-
for a variety of
No,
reasons.
to
I want to
be-
wait till Scott
to be
tackles
noted,
Zelda to
yeah.
go back and forth on that as to why I think Mario is a better game than Zelda.
yeah,
But
and that's a discussion that maybe even will have its own episode
So,
at some point.
I actually have a
But-
question that I don't think anybody else has asked.
Yeah.
What would be a better groundbreaker for the Switch, Zelda or Mario?
you mean first game to play,
Yeah,
thing to pick
yeah,
up when you're playing it?
Zelda.
I-
But
I think
I think in this day and age, I have, just to be clear, I have played neither game. But looking at it as from an outside source, if anyone tells me a Mario game, which is a platformer, versus in this day and age, an open world adventure game, I'm taking the adventure game. And I think that's how most people think in this
Mario's
day and
so
age.
much more than a platform.
Look,
You need to play it to
still,
understand what it does.
It's a Mario game.
Every world, there's probably 15 worlds in the game. Every world is just jam packed with activities, things to find, things to collect,
It's
and
true.
all of it's fun. That's the point.
if you
Mario
don't like
games-
collecting things, don't play Mario.
Right.
But the one thing I will say is, most people in this day and age of gaming are going to take the
Most
open
people
world adventure
don't want
game.
to have fun.
source your statements, gentlemen.
Come on.
Scott, talk about Zelda.
No, Zach. What games did you think about renting? this
Dude,
year?
with my inability to play new games, or haven't been playing new games, I'm still gonna stick with Overwatch.
Okay.
Because
Cool.
unlike
That's fair.
other multiplayer games like Destiny or Call of Duty that have been able unable to hold players, Overwatch just kept me.
It still won a
I
couple
agree.
awards this year.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, it still
And
won
it
like
had its
ongoing games.
first. It had its first Grand Prix this year, or what did they call it?
World Cup.
World Cup.
World
Sorry.
Yeah.
It It wasn't his first World Cup.
It
Second.
was second.
Yeah, it's
I thought it
definitely
was
second.
first.
No.
16?
You're talking about like
awards-
the community type.
Gotcha.
Awards shows are starting to give out awards to ongoing games, or maybe they haven't for a
And
while.
Overwatch
but
has
Yeah, it's might have been the first year.
It's become more of a thing because now it's not just MMOs. You have MOBAs that have been around for years and years now, and you're getting stuff like Overwatch and
PUBG.
honestly, probably Call of Duty would be better if they were to just make one game and update it, but you can't really do that on console as easily. So, and
Overwatch
also,
is doing it on
money.
console.
Money.
Overwatch is doing it. So,
Activision just can't handle it.
so Overwatch is your big deal this year.
Yeah, I mean, just because it held me.
You also
I keep going
got
back
you
to
also
it.
got like 3 new brand new heroes. So
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's true.
we got Moira, who
Kept
is
entertaining.
great.
and
She's
Terry
fun.
Crews, Doomfist.
Yeah, Doomfist.
Oh yeah,
Doomfist.
Doomfist is
Doomfist.
great.
He might as well be
Where
Terry
you going
Crews.
Yeah,
So
Doomfist.
Scott,
Yeah, what's up?
Zelda.
My favorite games?
Yeah,
Oh, thanks for
and
asking.
other favorite games.
Oh,
in
you
fact,
can probably
other
talk
favorite
about
games
Zelda.
before Zelda.
You have 5 minutes.
Because it sounds like Zelda's going to be
Thanks.
Zelda
Something
versus
else.
Mario will be like the cage fight at the end of
Favorite
it.
games of the year? Zelda, Mario, Doki, of course, PUBG, Life is Strange, just to touch on a few. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing we haven't really already talked about.
Why do you think Zelda was the best game that came out this year, Scott?
Look, I
Before they
Okay.
get into that, I just remembered my game of the year is Darkest Dungeon because it exited early access this year, and I love that game more than just anything else that came out.
For good things.
look. I don't want to keep fighting about Zelda.
we don't have to fight.
I
I
Yeah,
loved
she
it.
just
I loved
gets
it
to make
too.
rounds.
Yeah,
Britton
Spoilers.
and
It's
I
a
will
great
have
game.
to fight about this later.
No, that's the thing is that Britton, you love the game too, just as much
I
as
put
I did.
120 hours into
Yeah.
it, and my daughters love it too.
And it's just you just so happen that you like Mario better. What are you doing?
He's rapping.
Clearly,
So,
Christmas is coming.
It's like a I don't know.
You are
I think what Zelda did versus Mario, and Britton will disagree with me 100% in every single way.
Hey, don't put words in my mouth. Just say it.
You know it's true. Zelda took a chance of being different, and it worked so very well. And Mario followed the same formula. The world-to-world collecting stars, moons, whatever you want to call them. They did add a ton of new stuff. They added a ton of new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They made the worlds a lot more open and a lot more linear.
No. That's an oxymoron. What are you saying?
Well,
a lot
they-
more open and a lot more linear?
What I'm trying to say is they made it a lot more open and a lot more free, I guess.
Sure.
You don't have to follow a certain path.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still the same galaxy-based jump world to world.
Galaxy was very linear. Those levels were designed point A to point
Yes,
B.
and-
This is in the vein of, I guess, Sunshine, but more so Super Mario 64. And I think that's what made it so impactful. Those games came out a long time ago.
I know.
And while this did stick to an established formula to some extent, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And that's part of why it was more impactful than it would have been otherwise.
And I think the fact that Zelda in the past, it's had good games. It's had plenty of good games. Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, both been good games. It
Linear.
hasn't done anything that's crazy. It hasn't gone away from the same formula for decades until Breath of the Wild came out.
Mhm.
And they did something that they've never done before, and they took a chance, and it probably could have failed very, very easily, but it didn't, and it just worked.
Yeah.
I thought everything was fun about it. I know you hate the bosses, and
I can sum up
the
all of my gripes
quote-unquote-
very, very quickly for you.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Like
There's-
I know you said you hated the dungeons, you hated
There's
the
a
bosses.
big lack of monster variety.
Yes.
The RPG mechanics are very superficial and they're hamstrung by design. And the dungeons are not dungeons. You can't even call them that. And the boss fights are terrible. There's a handful of boss fights and none of them are memorable or remarkable.
Okay, well, some of your final thoughts on it.
On Zelda or Mario?
Yeah, Zelda, the game of the year.
That was pretty much it.
Okay.
I love what it did for open worlds. It's kind of the definitive open world game right now.
Mm-hmm.
But all of those things I just mentioned are what keep it from true greatness to me.
Okay.
Whereas Mario did everything it set out to do pretty much perfectly, in my opinion.
Well, it's a good thing that's your opinion and no one else cares about
Absolutely. Opinions are great, aren't they?
it. I try. Okay, closing thoughts.
It was a good year.
Yes.
What do you guys think about just 2017 in general?
I thought it was good.
It was the year of the Switch.
Well-
Let's be real. There were a few other big
It is-
standouts, but
It was
Me
Nintendo's.
and Britton
It was
discussed this
Nintendo's
at
year.
work. Sevens have been like the
It's
best
true.
years for games.
Yep.
97, 2007 when Portal came out, 97 Final Fantasy 7 and Ocarina of Time came out that year too, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like
There's something about the
the
sevens.
sevens.
But
So
this one goes right down in history with them, in my
But-
So
opinion.
what happens with 8? So that's where
Eight-
I'm just gonna struggle.
I don't
probably
think
right.
so because Kingdom Hearts 3. So I'm just gonna throw that
I think
out there.
StarCraft was 98.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
Zach,
StarCraft
final
was
thoughts?
98.
What games do you plan on renting this year?
None. I'm over it.
None.
I'm
Cool.
not spending more money on it.
Cool. So you're quitting. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's over.
Dan. Cool.
Yeah. About 2017.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
2018.
No, it was good.
It's awesome. Here. Switch is off to a great start.
Switching off to a great start.
I'll
We
be
have,
getting
wait
it
to see what
because
happens
Pokemon.
we got another year to come. So we will see you guys next year in the year of 2018.
The
We're not
Bison.
going to do another
What? Is it?
podcast before
No.
2018.
no,
Come on,
we're
man.
done.
We
This
could-
is this
we
is the
could do
final
it.
episode.
Hey, we'll
Squeeze
see
one more
you
in.
guys
Did it.
next year.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. As always, I'm Scott. We have Zach,
Later.
Brittin,
Peace.
Brooks is here, I guess,
And I'm Dan.
and then this is Dan, of course. Thank you guys,
This is
and
Dan.
we'll see you later.